Third thing I learned in my journey with people is authenticity. Yeah? We wear masks. Don't we wear masks? We're in this society where making a mistake is bad. Yeah? And even me, I struggled with this because remember, my work experience had been in that kind of corporate culture as well, where you're doing your best to protect yourself, where people are writing emails to each other. You're like, my goodness, if people just had, we were that, exactly what Mucha is saying. Have you seen emails which are people or whatever, like, by the way, if you just picked up the phone and we talked it out, now this thread of 20 emails because they are out to protect each other. So this is one of the stories that really, for me, my journey with authenticity, yeah, in a business. And I guess for me, it has been a business, but it could be in anything. The principle applies all over. And you're struggling with the normal things every business does. And sometimes life, doesn't it just look hopeless? Maybe you've had a bad meeting with your boss and you're wondering, shall I quit? It just looks hopeless, yeah? So, no Monese Mucha, you had very emotionally intelligent ways of putting this, but this was my version of, bringing people together, okay? I came to the office, and my colleague Wendy, who's sitting there, actually reminded me about this the other day, and I asked people, are we going to roll over and die? That was it. So, you know how Martin Luther King speeches, you think that as a leader, you'd come in and then you're like, rah, rah, I have a dream. Then I'm gonna rally the troops so that to give them life, so that we just, soldier on. Mine was, are we gonna roll over and die? But let me tell you, it was coming from that is all I had. Because what they were feeling, I'm feeling it 10 times worse. And I think sometimes we talk badly about bosses or leaders, whatever, and sometimes we don't really understand. Sometimes they are doing the best with what they have. And when you don't see them doing the best, it's because they don't know anything else, yeah? So sometimes it's you to tell them, by the way, this is how I suggest we do it, yeah? So they're not sitting at home with a wealth of knowledge that they're simply not using. Sometimes they don't know. So mine was, are we going to roll over and die? But what it started, and for me, was a chain of just being extremely authentic with people. Be real with people, yeah? We put so much pressure on ourselves to be the person who has to show that everything is okay. And then we wonder, why are we struggling with depression? Because depression sometimes, I don't know the science behind it, but sometimes I'm like, you have to put one mask in one place and then go and be a whole other person in that place. And that inauthenticity is driving you apart, yeah? So it's when you start the journey of trying to be, and what I'm saying is not easy, and I'm, as I say, we have not gotten it perfect ourselves, but let's be real, let's have the real conversations, let's not complain under the table. If you're complaining under the table but you've not brought it out, who are you to be complaining about? Because then you've also not also brought together. Understand other people are also being authentic. Let's appreciate sometimes people are just having a bad day. Can we give ourselves permission to have a bad day? Because I don't know when if we decide that having a bad day proves you have a bad day, you are, let's name it, weak, ineffective, not a good leader. You're moody, yeah? When you're hormonal, oh yeah, thank you, Waceke. She's hormonal, yeah? She's hormonal, get it together. You know when we're like, what's up with you? Having family problems, get it together. Surely, that is the worst advice you can actually give somebody, yeah? And I think it's understanding emotions, as Mucha was telling us, are giving us data. There's something wrong. There's something it's telling you. We don't be a victim to our emotions or held hostage by emotions all the time, but there's something it's telling you, something is going on. And we understand in our own environments, you're dealing with people. Now, when people are allowed to be authentic, let me take this back to the money side of things. When you're allowing them to be authentic, yeah, they then understand, because the worst, what happens with finances, and it's so hard, but people never want to ever show that they are struggling financially. That is the thing they run away from the most. But imagine, I think these are the messages we've been given from childhood, the way we were brought up, as Mucha, you were saying. And then we come and replicate the same thing. So we are consistently creating environments where if you're struggling, you should be ashamed. When we're dealing with people with debt, it's not so much the debt that is destroying them. It's the shame of the debt. Because when you remove the shame, by the way, we've seen solutions. People are like, oh, I can bake. That baking can earn an extra 30,000 per month. That will pay off my debt. But when they're dealing with the shame, it's all about what do I keep doing to cover it up, which unfortunately usually means more debt. And I hope one day, there's just this hope, yeah, that one day something will happen and things go away. So let's be authentic. And sometimes you can only empower people to be authentic if you are authentic. I've seen amazing things happen when the leaders of teams or people who are in positions where, like you guys you're involved with people, say, by the way, even me, I'm struggling with Fuliza. Of course, society tells us, like, whoa, what? Our HR manager has Fuliza. Our HR manager has Fuliza. You're like, oh, then of course you're scared, night will go round or whatever. But I've just seen when sometimes they are authentic and say, these are my struggles, yeah? And I love that. One thing I love about my journey with Centonomy, it enabled me to build a business from the beginning where I was telling people, by the way, I'm doing this because I'm in financial problems. So if you're here to listen to someone who has got it together, there is the door. My 200 baht moment, I don't know where fuel for the car is coming from. And I've seen the power when you are authentic. Because you are a human being yourself and you will forever make mistakes because you're a student of life forever, yeah? And when the more you're authentic with that, the better. And authentic even means sometimes saying, you know what? I was unemotionally intelligent in that conversation. I'm sorry. I can't, and there are many times I've told people, hi, sorry. I'm sorry about that. But the power of saying the sorry releases a lot of things that if you did not say the sorry, it would go uncovered. In my anger, I've told people cancel programs. Then I come to the office and they're canceling the program. I'm like, what? I didn't mean it. Sorry. Restart the program again. Yeah? Because sometimes we're just dealing with those kind of frustrations. So be authentic and allow people to be authentic, because when it comes to them thinking wealth creation, they're going to now be able to deal with their money from an authentic place. When you're authentic, you also start creating the space. Yeah, and I think when we talk about flexibility, the example I can use first of all when I started understanding more about my own identity, it led to, like what I say, what I'm good at. You see, when you start understanding I'm passionate about this, I have interest in this, it leads to what you're better at some things than other. So this led me down a journey of, first of all, with purpose, I understood the season for me to be CEO of this company is over. It's not, purpose also lets you move away for someone else's purpose to come in. Even if you don't know what I'm doing, even if I'm twiddling my thumbs, it was time for Waceke and his team to take over, yeah? But it also led me to understand, I'm creative, yeah? Let me tell you, if it was me running the HR breakfast, it would be myself speaking to myself. Because the whole skill of organizing people and whatever, I don't have it. But I told you performance review management in Centonomy would have been done once every, with the World Cup. Yeah, as the World Cup is coming, that's when we're doing performance management review. But the organization needs that. So it also leads to, that is not my space, that is not my strength, but my strength is still in communication, in creativity and whatever. So let me move myself to a space where I can actually concentrate on that and other things that may unfold actually along the way. It also starts when you deal that and start understanding, this is the kind of team we want, this is the kind of company we actually want. How do we design the work environment? Yeah, because it's not about what you've been told. And that's why I think millennials are really rebelling against the 8 to 5. Because it's very unnatural if you think about it, yeah? 8 to 5. I was just having a conversation in front, and us guys, I don't know if some of you saw some of us strugglers in there. We're like, guys, 7, and we are here. Well, there are some of our team people who are just perky, Yeah, but there are others who we know by 2 p.m., please don't ask anything of me today. So we're like, you know, people were dressed very well, but our faces they're just, in fact, I was so happy I was not the first one to speak, yeah? Because whatever, I'm not a morning person, but ask me to work till midnight, me, I'm fine, yeah? So you start designing that. When I understood my job, I need to think. I started taking Mondays off.